Greetings lads and lasses. My master DualBoxDtox welcomes you to today's lecture of how to get good. I mean why Soul Calibur players are already proficient in Tekken 8. And here we go. Some of you are wondering how a group of cosplay junkies, self-incriminating lollicons, furry degenerates can be anywhere near competent at a sophisticated game like Tekken 8. The answer is pretty simple. Soul Calibur is Tekken with Down syndrome. We might be naturally selected, but everyone knows we share the same DNA. There might have been a steep learning curve crossing over to the Iron Fist franchise, but that will change soon as the new installment is released. Tekken players would argue that Tekken has a great number of game mechanics and sub-rules that newcomers will have to adopt and navigate. The truth of the matter is most of these mechanics are universal, and once you know how to play a character, your transition to other characters will almost always be seamless. However, for Soul Calibur 6, not only are the number of universal mechanics far exceed the current ones in Tekken 7, but almost each and every character in Soul Calibur 6 has a sub-mechanic. A single gimmick can last you years in this game, simply because several game rules are attached to it and will require the average Calibur player to learn about guard impacts, resist impacts, guard stamina, guard breaks, auto guard impact, break attacks, unbreakables, tech crouches, fucking ring out, soul attacks, critical edges, every fucking lethal hit and reversal edge option you get with every character. And if you thought these were bad, wait till you hear about this nice little thing called tech traps. Every Soul Calibur player who didn't drop this game to this date has developed the capacity to play fighting games like a Yu-Gi-Oh cards game on QuickTime events. And now that Tekken 8 has introduced the heat system, which is practically bootleg Soul Calibur meters and reversal edges, we will have Tekken players stumbling in the dark, while Soul Calibur players having another Tuesday. This is all I'm going to say about this topic.
Booted up Tekken 7 just to show you a comparison with how slow it is if you try to spam single backdashes. Look at how insane that is. Like, the distance obviously is not even the factor, it's just the time it takes to recover and go into the next backdash is probably 2 or 3 times as long. But that's how slow it is just spamming back in Tekken 7, and coming back to this, it is just insanely faster. They've really made a big change here. And honestly, I think it's for the better. I think it's more beginner friendly, and it's not game warping at a higher level.
I rest my case. On day 1, while the average player is getting victimized by grey health bars, this is how the average Calibur player is going to behave.
Light work, no reaction.
Weapon enthusiasts have been dealing with chip damage since 2018, and it wasn't even the worst part about the game. A Tekken player will never know the dread that comes with low guard stamina and red glowing life bars. It's suffice to say that blocking has always had a price tag on it for Calibur players, and most importantly they will almost instantly weaponize this better than any Tekken player would. Word to the wise, if you see a player parrying almost anything they come in contact with, chances are they are either a Street Fighter 6 player or a Calibur player. In Tekken, aside from low parries, only a select few characters can parry things, and it is never the only solution to getting out of a tight spot. The average Iron Fister cannot parry something to save their life, since they all been mashing Power Crush and Rage Arts as a form of a 9000 IQ parry system. Meanwhile, every single Akubo fanboy knows how to guard impact, a fully universal and integral game mechanic forced upon every Soul Calibur player, and with Tekken 8 making parries few and far in between, you can be rest assured that only a few will be able to handle parry-crazed fanatics like Calibur players. And the same can be said about just frames to a lesser degree. You can easily expect people dying to opponents doing 5 just frames per round, while dropping every combo known to man. Now to address the big elephant in the room, the heat system. Tekken developers went from containing meter usage within a handful of characters to making it a full-blown game mechanic. Not only is this a foreign system to the average Harada boy, but it was a hated feature by the majority of Tekken players. You put these two facts together, and you already know that resource management isn't a skill set the average Iron Fister has. The entire time the Tekken community was being victimized by Akuma and Geese, Calibur players were trying to land a PhD in meter management. Consider all the ways you could gain meter from lethal hitting opponents to simply sprinting for a fraction of meter gain. And all the ways you can spend your meter from critical edges, soul attacks, resist impacts and soul charges. And you will realize how much of an advantage they already have venturing into the heat system. Especially if you are a Gerald or a Yoshimitsu player. All that being said, it is not sunshine and roses for the wardrobe fighters community. Being an exclusive Calibur player will land you some deep waters going into Tekken 8. The first and biggest disadvantage here is throw breaks. The extent of throw breaking has been either option A or option B. You could use your forehead as a thumb, and 50% of the time you would remain correct. However, in Tekken you have to be very precise, especially with one button breaks. There will be no other way to put it. You poor bastards will either have to get conditioned to duck, or mask your shit reactions somehow. Second, sidestepping in Tekken 8 will claim Soul Calibur victims by the dozens. The 8-way run in Soul Calibur rewards movements, and does very little to punish reckless movement. Carrying that mindset to Tekken will get you killed in 10 seconds if not less. Unlike Soul Calibur, Tekken requires you to be very precise with your movement. In fact, the very attempt to sidestep is riskier than mashing parry buttons for 10 seconds straight. With all that being said, I hope this little essay has shed some light onto some interesting perspectives. Tekken 8 is looking out to be one of the best fighting games of the decade. I am every bit as excited for the game as the entire Tekken community, and a huge part of me is very hopeful towards Soul Calibur 7.
Do your souls still burn?
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you soon.